Thank you for tuning in to the Fair Breeze Files, your source for tips, tidbits, and insights related to the world of travel. Hi, Jeremy. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
I'd like to know a little bit about you, and if you'd like to tell us your story. You are a digital nomad, correct?
Yes, I am. And nothing in my life really predicted that it was going to happen, to be honest, but somehow I made it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I grew up in the south of France. I spent the first 30 years of my life in France. And the reason I'm saying nothing could have predicted that is because I didn't travel as a child or anything. Like my parents, I don't think they have a passport. We didn't go anywhere in holidays or stuff like that. I didn't travel so much. Um, but in 2010, when I was 22 years old, I went to Australia for my master degree for 1 semester, and that gave me the travel bug,
Yeah.
basically. um, I met my wife over there. Well, my girlfriend, who eventually became my wife. And she was a big traveler. Her family and her traveled all the time. So I think also that encouraged all this traveling that I've been doing since then. Um, but yeah, I went to Australia at 22 years old. I came back to France. I graduated. I got a job like everyone else. I had a pretty regular life until 30 years old. Got a job, got an apartment, got married, everything normal. And in 2017, I got the opportunity to move to Miami, a job opportunity with a French company, which I took. And I spent 3 amazing years in Miami. And while I was in Miami, I met a lot of people living a nomadic lifestyle, a lot of entrepreneurs doing their own things and living what I would qualify as a life that's a bit out of the ordinary, a little bit different. And that sparked something in me, that planted a seed in me of like, if they do it, why couldn't I do it?
Yeah.
Um, and that put me on a path of like, okay, what could I do? How could I do that and everything? So I started trying to figure out how I could make money by myself. How could I actually live on the road and, deal with time zones and everything? Because having the idea is one thing, but making it happen is something else.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, eventually I I decided in 2020 to quit well, in 2020, I decided I was going to quit my job in 2021. So I gave myself 1 year to get ready for it. So my
Okay.
wife and I saved money. Basically, we talked, we planned. And in April 2021, on the 30th of April, so about 5 years ago, as we are just in May right now, I quit my job. We left Miami. We put everything that we own in a backpack, well,
Oh,
one
wow.
by each. And since then, we are uh, jobless and homeless in a sense, right? Because since then, we've been living in hotels and Airbnbs and families and friends and stuff like that.
Okay. So did you sell everything that you owned or put it in storage?
We sold the apartment that we had in France and we sold everything big. We kept a few personal items and a few stuff at my parents and at my wife's parents, but it's literally just a handful of boxes. But yeah, we pretty much sold everything and everything fit in 2 backpacks basically.
Wow, that's amazing. So where did you start out? Where's the first place you went after Miami?
Um, so after Miami, we went back to Europe just to spend some time with family before starting. But the first place, the first country we started with was Peru.
Okay.
And um also, maybe just to give a bit of context, also behind the choice is that a lot of people think that when we travel all the time, it's just because we have plenty of money. we are rich. That's usually what we hear, and it's not the case. Like I'm still trying to figure out how to make money with on my own and stuff like that. Like it's I'm still in the process of it. I wouldn't say that I made it on this side, right? Um, and the truth is that for us, traveling is actually cheaper than living somewhere stable in Europe or in the US.
Hmm.
So we pick our countries based on where we want to go, obviously, if we have any appeal to the country. But also we look at the cost of living. And the truth is that there's plenty of extraordinary countries in the world where the cost of living is much, much lower than what we used to in the US or in Europe. So we can afford to live a nice, comfortable life while traveling at the same time. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there because a lot of
Hmm.
people have this misconception of digital nomads or just, I don't know, crypto bros or millionaires or this and that when it's not the case. We are just regular people, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started with Peru, which was incredible. Um, I don't know if you've been in Peru, but it's such a diverse country. I was really surprised by it. And what I mean by that is the diversity of landscape that you can experience. And
Okay.
the best way I can describe it is if you're in Lima, the capital, it's on the coast.
Hmm.
So you have like a massive coastal city with the ocean there. You can take a 12-hour overnight or throughout the day bus to like the center of Peru. And through this journey, you're gonna go up the Andes mountain to like 5,000 meters altitude. So
Hmm.
you experience like altitude sickness and everything. Up there is a moonscape, I would say. It
Yeah.
looks like you're on another planet. And then you go behind the Andes and you arrive in like the rainforest, the jungle, which is basically very close to the Amazon forest.
Okay. Hmm.
Uh, so like in 12 hours, you can go from a coast beach to being very high in the mountains to being in a rainforest. And then if you go back another way, you arrive in a desert.
Wow.
So it's crazy how in literally 48 hours, you can experience so many different things.
Hmm.
And yeah, I was amazed by that, how diverse it was in not like a small space, but
Hmm.
yeah, in a matter of 48 hours, you can literally see the beach, the rainforest, and a desert, which is
That's
mind
amazing.
blowing.
Yeah. So how long did you stay there?
We stayed there for about 7 weeks.
Okay.
We wanted to stay longer, but we had to cut it short because of some family stuff happening in Europe.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, we had to come back to Europe and stay there for a little bit. But I would highly recommend going to Peru and staying longer. If it's still the same, you can stay 90 days, which is a good amount of time to see
Yeah.
part of the country. It's a big country also. You won't see everything, but you can have an amazing experience in a couple of months.
Hmm. Yeah, I know some really good DMCs, which are destination management companies that
Yeah.
operate there. I've met with a few of them, and it just seems absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it to anyone. And we were very safe also. I want to put that out there. A lot of people, I think, are scared of Central or South America and
Hmm.
some Latin countries, we often hear the media talking about it in a negative way, let's put it this way. But I've been to Peru, I've been to Mexico, I've been to Costa Rica, to Panama, and I've been safe all the time. Nothing happened to me.
Hmm.
I think if you use your common sense, bad luck can happen, but bad luck can happen also in your hometown.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are amazing countries, and don't stop yourself from going just because of what you hear or read in the news, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, because there's people that travel to those countries all the time, and
Yeah,
you just don't hear about it because everything goes well.
exactly, exactly.
That's great. So what do you do now for to provide? How do you afford it right now?
Yeah, so both my wife and I are working on our own businesses, which uh, I don't know if it's what I would recommend to everyone. I think, having one stable income would not be a bad idea, but we both have this bug of wanting to do our own thing. So
Hmm.
we we have to deal with the instability coming from that.
Yeah.
Um, for the past 3 years, since 2022, I had an online yoga school, so teaching people how to become yoga teachers, basically.
Okay.
I stopped this business about 6 weeks ago for multiple reasons. And I'm now basically transitioning out of that into and focusing on coaching and consulting. Um, I want to use my 10 years of experience in working for different startups and multiple small businesses. I want to help solopreneurs and other creatives to just smooth out their operations and I'm sure you're aware of the challenges that comes with having your own business. And I think one of the misconception a lot of people have about entrepreneur life is, oh, you spend your time doing whatever your craft is, right? But no, the reality is that when you have your own business, usually you spend maybe 20% of your time doing the thing, and the other 80% is paperwork, admin, marketing, sales, this, that.
Yeah.
There's so many things, right? All the boring stuff. Usually
Yeah.
people call it this way.
The business side of
uh,
it.
yeah, and this is the part that actually I really enjoy personally.
Oh, okay.
Um, I really enjoy it, and I'm quite good at it because I have experience doing it before. So I want to help people doing that so they can focus on the 20% and actually extend it to more than 20%, basically.
Yeah,
Um,
that makes sense.
So yeah, so this is something that I'm developing. So it's an ongoing process. And my wife is a social media content creator. So she creates content for small companies or individuals and other solopreneurs.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, we both. It's giving us a lot of freedom, as you can imagine, because ultimately everything that we do is online. Everything that we do doesn't have much constraints in terms of times and stuff like that. A few calls here and there with clients, but we can work when we want, whatever we want, and how much we want. So it's giving us a lot of freedom to really live this lifestyle. It's obviously coming with also some cons of instability financially and stuff like that, but it's a process, it's a journey.
Yeah. So I'm curious how you get where do you like how do you plan where you're going to go? Do you have a bank account that's set up just in a certain country? How do you have insurance? Just all of those things that I'm curious, like the logistics of it.
Yeah. So we live in a funny world because I often say that the world is not ready for people like us. And what I mean by that is there is no way you can live a truly nomadic lifestyle. Everything requires you to have a home and an address somewhere.
Hmm. Yeah.
When you want to open a bank account, when you want to get a SIM card, when you want to sign up for a travel or health insurance, you need to have a home. So technically, I live at my parents because it's
Hmm.
just easier.
Yeah.
uh, that means that everything that we have in terms of banking or insurance, it's in France just because it's easier.
Hmm.
My parents can open the mail and stuff like that for me and send me whatever I need.
Yeah.
So yeah, all our money and all our uh, personal stuff are in France. Our businesses, however, are based in the US,
Okay.
simply because when we lived in Miami, we started an LLC over there, and uh, the US comes with pros and cons, but the US is a very easy country to create a business in.
Hmm.
Anyone can, and whether you live in America or not, it's very easy to create an LLC. It takes literally 20 minutes, and um, yeah, it's just much easier to manage than it would be in France or in England. So we kept the business over there, but everything else is in France.
Okay.
And yeah, and then it's just finding like the best deals and the best things. I have a bunch of like online banking, so you don't pay any fees when you take money out of the ATM or when you pay in other currencies.
Yeah.
Um, we use like TransferWise, Wise a lot to transfer money from the US to Europe. So again, you don't pay much fees, stuff like that. There's only plenty of little tidbit that you can do to optimize your life abroad, so you don't also lose too much money on all those admin stuff.
Yeah, I imagine, the exchange and the currencies can also be really
Yeah,
difficult. So
can
when
be. Yeah,
you're traveling, it can be, so expensive just to like move money over.
it can be. Yeah, and also depending on where you are, in we spend a good amount of time in Southeast Asia or yeah Central America. Those countries are very very still attached to cash. You need to have like money, physical money.
Yeah.
Uh, so you need to withdraw money on a regular basis to pay for everything, which is a bit of a pain because it's so much easier to tap with your phone, right?
Yeah.
And every time you take money out, those damn ATM, they take $5 from you and $5 and $5 all the time,
Yeah, exactly.
which adds up in over a year, right? But yeah, there are ways to save things here and there.
hmm And what
Yeah.
about
Oh, and
internet?
sorry, something else also that you asked. Sorry, I forgot. Is insurance. So yeah, we do have. Well, in France for me and in the UK for my wife, we have our national health insurance.
hmm
We are lucky in Europe to have good insurance for that.
hmm
So we are covered on what's important over there for free. And then we have a travel insurance that is covering any emergency abroad. So if we have any emergency and we need to go to the hospital or anything like that, we jump on the chat on the app and we get a refund very, very quickly.
Oh, okay.
And it's up to like, I don't know, $1 million. So you can have like a, surgery or whatever is going to be
Yeah.
covered basically. And yeah, it's one of those funny things. Like I wanted to say it's a good insurance, but I actually never used them because nothing happened to me to actually test it.
Oh, good.
And it's it's one of those things like in a way I hope I don't have to test it
Yeah.
because I don't want anything to happen. Uh, but yeah, so far so good. I'm paying for, but yeah, it's also quite affordable. It's about like $45 a month per person. But
Mm.
it covers any emergency of some sort, so
That's
it's fine.
great. Yeah.
Yeah,
When I'm planning trips, I always encourage my travelers to get travel insurance. Like it's
yeah,
not
it's
that expensive and it can be really, really beneficial. Like I've heard so many horror stories,
exactly.
people not having it.
And yeah, and also it depends where you go. Like if you go anywhere in Asia and you rent a motorbike for the day to go visit this waterfall or whatever,
hmm
you will see tourists every single day with bandages on the shoulder, the
Oh,
elbows, the knees, the whatever on
hmm
crutches. Like every single day you see that. And
wow.
knowing how people drive over there, you're not surprised that happens. So
hmm
yeah, having a good insurance is just good for your peace of mind, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And do you have internet wherever you go on your phones, or how do you um
So yeah, that's a great question, actually. We are very lucky in France to have a very, very good like contract. So my SIM card is still French, and
okay.
I had the same one for years now. Um, we pay €20 a month, which is pretty much $20, right? And we have access to internet in something like 150 countries in the world,
Oh wow.
included in the contract. We don't have to pay extra.
Huh,
So there
amazing.
are very few countries that we need to buy a local SIM card. Very,
hmm
very. I think it happened once or twice, maybe in like 20 countries we've been to.
Wow.
So that's so much easier, honestly, because you don't have to deal with buying a SIM card. You can just
Yeah.
arrive at the airport, get a taxi or whatever, and get going.
hmm
So yeah, very lucky for that. I'm very grateful to have this French thing because it's cheap and it's great. Very
Yeah,
helpful.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So I'd like to hear about all the places that you've been and if you have any fun stories. Or I guess even just a not fun story.
Uh, not fun, honestly. I'm very lucky and very grateful that our 4 years of travel have been very, very safe and good. We don't have any horror story. Nothing happened to us, which I'm really grateful, touching wood, you know. But
Yeah.
uh, so we went to Peru when we started. After that, we went to Southeast Asia. We did Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand. We jumped to Australia for 2 weeks because one of my friend was getting married there.
Oh,
So we did a little 2 weeks there. And then we carried on in Sri Lanka, India, Malaysia, and Indonesia. That was like 2022, 23. And 2024, we did Mexico, Costa Rica, and then we went back to Thailand and Malaysia just because we loved it.
okay.
And this year we did Thailand, and now I'm in Germany, and we are going to do some European countries this summer. And we try to do half new countries and half countries that we like and we want to return to.
Hmm. Okay.
So at least we get a bit of both.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, in terms of stories, one of my best travel memory is actually not from my digital nomad life. It's just the regular holidays that we had in 2019, just before this whole COVID situation.
Yeah.
For my birthday, when we lived in Miami, we went to Costa Rica. No, sorry, we went to Cuba. Cuba.
Okay. Wow.
For like 10 days. And it's a place that I've been intrigued by for a long time because, of everything that we hear about life in
Mhm.
Cuba, how different, how hard it is also to get there from the US because
Yeah.
of
I'm
everything.
surprised because back in 2019, it was before it was open for tourism again.
Yeah, so when you go from the US, you have to say that you're going to support local people. You're not going for
Mhm.
tourism. Um,
Okay.
so you have to fill up this form saying why you're going and stuff like that. Ultimately, it's fine, but yeah,
Hmm.
it's what it is. Um, I was there for my birthday, and we stayed in this Airbnb with a very nice family. We were like, they were living in one house, they were renting a house a few blocks from their own house. But every morning they came to make breakfast and they would take us to visit the city and stuff like that. And when I told them it was my birthday, they were like, "Oh my God, come at the house for dinner tonight and we'll have a
Oh.
little thing."
Hmm.
So, okay, a little thing, I thought, okay, we'll have a drink,
Yeah.
some rum and whatever. We got to the house, the table was full of food. I'm not kidding. Like, there was food for 20 people on the table. It was absolutely crazy. He invited his mom, he invited his brothers, everyone, the entire family was there. And we had a big Christmas party for me with this family, this Cuban family. And it was such an amazing surprise. And it's one of the things that you see when you travel that, I don't know, it's kind of a cliche, but like the less people have, the more generous they are, in a way.
Yeah.
Um, and, I'm sure this meal cost them, I don't know, like a week of budget, right, for the food. But they didn't care. I just wanted to have a good time with us, and it's one of my best memories of traveling because it was such a unexpected kind gesture,
Mhm.
that it really just touched my heart. Like it's something that I absolutely loved.
That's
Um,
amazing.
and something else also that I really, really, I'm just telling you what's popping in my mind right now, but in Cambodia, we we had an amazing day around Siem Reap, so around Angkor Wat, the
Okay.
complex, the big temple.
Hmm.
Um, a friend of a friend of a friend is running a non-profit organization over there to help people get access to water because it's very dry. Most houses don't have access to water in the house. So they go to like a river or somewhere with buckets.
Oh, wow.
So this non-profit organization have like a bunch of local experts. They go, they try to find a source of water. They dig
Hmm.
everything. They install a well, and they do everything for them. It's really cool. And they invited us for like a tour to see
Hmm.
how they operate everything, and so they took us to like very small local villages around the tourist area,
Hmm.
and we got a chance to really meet plenty of locals and see where they live and how they live and the struggle they're facing and stuff like that. And that was really interesting. That was really humbling. We always hear to complain about this and that and whatever. I'm hot, I'm cold, I've got this, I don't know, blah, 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 all those very basic stuff. And then
Yeah.
you get to meet those people like they just don't have any water. It's like okay, right. Brings you back to earth a little bit, down to earth, and like okay, I'm very grateful just to have water coming out of my tap and just
Yeah,
being able to take a
exactly.
shower. Like just going back. And I I like to say that every year, I think I would like to remind myself that somehow have a little, like shot
Yeah.
of this reminder to top it up, because you quickly forget and you quickly go back to your comfort and your routine, and you tend to forget and take everything that you have for granted.
Hmm.
And I love to, yeah, just be reminded of the privilege that I have, basically, right? To be
Yeah.
born in a certain country with a certain passport and to be able to do all that, because it's not the case for everyone.
Hmm.
Um, But when we had this day, so it was very nice and humbling for all that. But also, they took us to this tiny little restaurant on the side of a road that I would have drove past there. I would have never stopped.
Yeah.
And this restaurant had two big pigs on the barbecue,
Oh,
like
wow.
cooking there.
Hmm.
And no one spoke English over there, so the guy just ordered food for us, basically. And we had one of the most amazing food I ever had. Like it was like crispy pork. Crispy
Oh.
pork is big in like Thailand and Cambodia, but that was the freshest crispy pork that I ever had. My wife usually hates pork. She doesn't like any fatty chunk of meat, like
Hmm.
the chewy thing. She had it all many times. She loved it. Um, and they give you that with like a salad. And um, one of the ingredients of the salad was the trunk of the banana tree,
Oh, wow.
grated, which
Okay.
I had no idea you could eat the banana tree.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like grated, and it's like this white stuff that I don't know, like I guess if you see it in a plate, it could be like some like cabbage, chopped
Hmm.
thinly
Yeah.
or something like that, thinly. So yeah, so we had that. And
Was
yeah,
it
it's one of
crunchy
those.
like cabbage?
Yeah, very
Okay.
crunchy. Yeah, yeah. So it was one of those most like random meal that I would have never found.
Yeah.
So I think we were there for like 2 weeks. Uh, we went back for lunch there like 3 or 4 times with our motorbike,
Yeah.
and the locals just found it funny because this place is for locals. They never see white people eating there,
Hmm.
and they were like, "Oh, I've seen you." Like I couldn't understand, but I understood that they meant, "Oh, you're
Yeah.
back. Oh, you're back again. Oh,
You're
back
back.
again." Yeah, she just found it so funny that we were coming back. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of those places that it's not on a Lonely Planet guide. It's not on any tour guide, and one of those local experience that you have that you're never gonna forget, right? Because it's just very
Yeah.
special.
Yeah. So now you know when you go back there,
If
you're
I, you
gonna
know
go
what,
get some food.
if I could teleport myself, I would go there very often.
That's
One of
true.
the one of the thing that would, if I could teleport myself, I would have an amazing dinner every day because I would just go to places to eat food. Like I'm a
Mm.
foodie. I love to try food everywhere I go. And oh, if I had this power, that would be incredible.
You'd just spend all your money on food,
Yeah, I would literally
teleporting all over
travel
the world.
places. I would go to India once or twice a week for dinner because the food is incredible over there. I would go to Asia to have pad thai and crispy pork and a mole in Mexico. And yeah, I would spend all my time eating, I think.
Nice. So you said you're going to be in Europe. What countries are you going to visit this year?
So I'm currently in Germany, which is funny because I'm from France. Germany is touching my country, and I've never been to Germany before. I'm
Oh, wow.
37 years old, so it took me 37 years to come to Germany. But here
Yeah.
I am. Um, I'm actually having a great time. It's funny. Um, I don't think Germany is on many people's bucket list. I think when people think about traveling in Europe, they think about France,
Hmm.
Spain, Italy, um, London,
Hmm.
like England, stuff like Greece. I don't think Germany comes up a lot in people's
Yeah.
list. I don't know why, and it's a shame because it's actually a stunning country. I'm loving it. It's really, really beautiful.
Hmm.
And I'm here for 6 weeks, but I will come back to see more of the country because it's been great. I'm really enjoying it so far. Um, and next on June 1st, we are going to Serbia,
Okay.
Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Montenegro. So the
Okay.
ex-Yugoslavia Balkan countries.
Uh-huh.
And we're gonna be there from June to August. So like 3 months, 2.5, 3 months. Yeah, same. It's a part of Europe that I've never seen, Eastern Europe.
Hmm.
And those countries are very, I'm from France. I've been a lot in Spain and Portugal. I've been
Hmm.
to Italy, all those Latin countries that not that are the same, but they're very similar. It's a very similar culture.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I don't know much about Eastern Europe. I haven't spent so much time in this part of the world, and it's just very different, very culturally, and also they're fairly new countries, right? Because they were part of ex-Yugoslavia
Hmm.
in the 90s, right? So those countries are less than 30 years old, which is
Yeah.
interesting also. So yeah, I'm really excited to see. I think it's going to be a it looks stunning on the pictures, like
Yeah. Hmm.
Montenegro and Serbia. Like the nature looks outstanding over there. So I'm really excited to explore that.
Yeah. That's great. So if people want to follow along with your newsletter and, follow, I guess, where you're traveling,
Yeah.
where can they find you?
So to keep up with anything that I'm doing, everything is on my website. I've got a link for my newsletter and everything else that I do. So my website is my name, jeremieandre.com. Uh, if you're really much more in a travel content, my wife documents everything on her YouTube channel. So her channel is fully dedicated to our travel. She films everything that we do, which I
Okay.
it's more her thing than my thing.
Yeah.
But
Well, you said she's
uh,
a social media person,
yeah,
so.
yeah. When I don't have social media accounts, so yeah. So everything travel related is on her YouTube channel. You can see all the countries that we've been to, all the day trips, all the tips. We also document how much everything costs, which I think is always something that people wonder.
Hmm.
So every time we visit a country, we do a breakdown on accommodation, food, visits, stuff like that. So yeah, her channel is Rosie Andre. Um, and yeah, that's the best place to find us.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll link them here in the video.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to be wrapping up. Do you have any other tips and or tricks for listeners? Anything that you'd like to share about your journey or advice?
Yeah, I guess I can share two things. I can share one tip, and I'm thinking about it because that's what I'm doing right now.
Hmm.
Uh, I think a lot of people want to travel, but I think it's too expensive, right? Because you need to pay for flight, you need to pay for accommodation, for food. There are ways to travel that don't cost so much money. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing house and pet sitting. So I'm currently in Germany in this house for 2.5 weeks. I'm not paying any accommodation. In exchange, I'm looking after two cute little bunnies that are
Oh.
behind me and some other animals. And that's a way to travel for not for free, but for very cheap because once you don't have to pay for accommodation, the bill is much, much lower, right? So that's my little tip to traveler. It doesn't have to be expensive. There are ways to make it affordable. And yeah, house sitting is one of them. You can go away for 2 days, 3 weeks to literally pretty much any countries in the world. So highly
Mhm.
recommend this one. And just in terms of advice, I would say you will never regret to have traveled in your life. This when you're older and you know you're on your deathbed, you're not going to say, I wish I didn't go to this country and visit this place.
Mhm.
Like you will probably regret that you have worked too much or
Yeah.
that you didn't spend enough time with your family, but you're not going to regret to travel the world.
Yeah.
So if you doubt, if you're like, I'm not sure if I should do it, go for it because you will never regret traveling. I think
Hmm.
it's just going to be an amazing experience no matter what that you will remember for the rest of your life. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
go for
always
it.
going to enhance your life
Exactly. Yeah.
and your experience.
Mm. Yeah.
And it helps to make you a better person, helps
Oh, for
to
sure.
open your horizons a little bit, like you were saying, to humble you, to explore the experiences of other people as well. So,
I would not be the person I am today if I would have not been traveling. Like
hmm.
the me, the 37 years old me, is a totally different human being than the 22 years old me who went to Australia the first time.
Yeah.
And a big part of that is because I've seen the world, and that gave me so much more new perspective, so much more developing, becoming more open-minded,
Hmm.
more tolerant, more respectful, and that's just because I've realized that wherever you go in the world, we're all the same. I know
Yeah.
it's a very cliche thing to say, but it is very true. Like
Yeah,
we
it
all want the
is.
same thing. We all chase the same thing. We just want to be happy and live a good life and be with people that we love and have a good time.
Hmm.
Everywhere is the same,
Yeah.
and it's good to be reminded that because the TV always try to divide us and
Hmm.
create tension, but yeah, we're
Yeah.
all the same, and it's amazing.
People are just people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate having you on today.
Thank you. It was great. Had fun.
And hopefully we'll connect again.
Yeah, happy to. Thank you.
Thank you.